the power has been turned off prior
Excuse
to
me?
ever.
You're telling me now that the heat is off or the
Yes, on
electricity?
December 19th, they completely turned the power off, and I've been living here with no power. The living room area to stay warm.
Who shut off the electricity?
I think the wrong one got turned off, and it was never brought to the attention that it was her specific unit.
This next case is one of the most heartbreaking examples of injustice I've seen in a long time. We're talking about a blind woman living alone in the middle of winter, and her landlord actually cut off her electricity. Let that sink in. No heat, no lights. Just her sitting in the cold, wrapped up in a heavy coat inside her own home. It's as cruel as it sounds. And here's the thing. This isn't just morally wrong, it's legally prohibited. In most states, landlords are not allowed to shut off basic utilities like heat and electricity as a way to force a tenant out. That's not just shady behavior, that's considered an illegal eviction tactic. You can't punish someone into moving by freezing them out of their own space. And Judge Simpson, he picks up on this immediately. The moment he realizes this woman is still without heat, he doesn't play it cool. He goes full throttle. You can hear it in his voice, see it in his expression. He's not about to let this slide. This isn't just a housing dispute. This is about human dignity, about safety, about someone being targeted at their most vulnerable. This isn't some overdue rent argument or a miscommunication over a lease. This is a landlord weaponizing the weather to intimidate a disabled tenant, and that is beyond unacceptable. So here's the question for you. Should landlords who pull stunts like this face harsher penalties, fines, jail time? Or is this just one more example of how messy and unbalanced the landlord-tenant system can be? Let me know what you think in the comments, because the way this judge handles it might just restore a little faith in the system. Let's go ahead and dive into this hearing and watch how Judge Simpson sets the record straight and possibly sets a new tone for how these cases should be handled going forward.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. I have low vision. I can't see I can't see the
Gotcha.
screen. So,
Okay, it's okay. The plaintiff's attorney is not here. I guess they're saying he signed in, but hasn't signed back in. You're here. Are you moving to dismiss this case, ma'am?
what does that entirely mean?
That means this case would be over at least.
Does that mean that I would need to be served all over again?
Well, they'd probably have to start over. They'd have to serve you with something.
Okay. Then yes, I would like to dismiss.
Case dismissed.
Thank you
That's
so
without
much.
prejudice. They may come back and they may try to do something, but they'll have to, they'll at least have to try to start this case over and move to set it aside. But you'll get an opportunity
Okay.
to be heard if that happens, okay?
Okay, moving forward, what do I do now?
What do you mean?
Do I stay put? Can I tell you about the case or?
No, you can't tell me about it. But yeah, you can stay where
Okay,
you are because I'm not signing. This case is dismissed, so I'm not signing any orders telling you have to do anything.
okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a
Oh,
great
do you
new
have any
year.
advice about, I'm sorry, do you have any advice about how I should move forward?
No,
Oh, about
I can't give you legal advice.
okay, what about the fact that the power has been turned off prior
Excuse
to
me?
ever receiving any paperwork? There
Hold on
is
a
no
second,
power
man.
in this.
Okay, hang on. I may vacate my dismissal on this, but hold on. You, all right. Are you sight impaired, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, and you're telling me now that the heat is off or the
yes, on
electricity?
December 19th, before ever receiving any warning, they completely turned the power off, and I've been living here with no power since then.
Your goodness. So do you have a lease there? I do see it. Hold on.
Yes,
Okay, your lease expired, it looks like. Are you there by yourself, ma'am, or?
I have my best friend that's here that helps me with my vision.
Got it.
He's present.
So you've been without electricity
Just about a
since the
week, and
19th?
yes, and that's actually about 2 months ago. My landlord turned off the power in the back of the house, which was what the room that I was renting out. So I had to move my bed out to the kitchen area because that was where she just cut half of the power. So I had to move into the living room area to stay warm.
All right, here's where things go from bad to shocking. We're about to learn why this landlord decided to cut the power, but let me warn you now. The reasoning won't make it any less cruel, and the timing, absolutely brutal. This all went down in Michigan in the heart of December, when freezing temperatures aren't just uncomfortable, they're life-threatening. This isn't some chilly inconvenience. This is the kind of cold that turns your breath into ice and your home into a danger zone. Now, add to that the fact that this woman is completely blind. Navigating life already requires extraordinary strength, and now she's doing it without heat, in pitch darkness. It honestly makes you ask, what kind of person thinks that's okay? Because no matter what dispute was going on, no rent issue, no miscommunication, none of it justifies this kind of retaliation. And here's the legal bombshell. What this landlord did. It's called constructive eviction. That's when a landlord makes living conditions so unbearable that the tenant is basically forced to leave, even if they haven't been formally evicted. Shutting off essential utilities like heat or water isn't just unethical, it's illegal in many jurisdictions. And courts take it very seriously. And you know who else takes it seriously? Judge Simpson, the moment he realizes what's going on. You can practically feel the temperature in the courtroom shift, and it's not because of the cold. Judge Simpson isn't just annoyed, he's furious, and for good reason. He doesn't see a landlord with a property dispute. He sees someone who put a vulnerable woman's life in danger to make a point, and now he's ready to make his point. This isn't just about housing rights anymore. This is about human decency. This is about standing up for people who are being treated like they don't matter, so buckle up, because Judge Simpson is about to drop a lesson. This landlord won't forget anytime soon. And trust me, it's not going to be gentle, because real justice doesn't come wearing gloves.
And then now on the 19th of December, she fully cut off all the power. So
Was she supposed to? I'm trying to look through your lease real quick. Is it up to her utilities? Hang on. So you're sure she shut it off?
yes, um, I asked her about it and she was coy. So I don't know how I could prove that it was her giving, I don't have proof of it being specifically her.
Okay,
But there's
let's do.
people that live above me that they have power. It's just the bottom part of the apartment that has been shut off. So this whole
Okay,
building is not completely without power, just where I reside.
I got you. So here's what I'm going to do, ma'am. I'm going to vacate the dismissal. I'm not going to dismiss the case. Okay, because you can't continue like this, and it's about to get very cold out there soon.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Here's what we're going to do. Their attorney signed in, but then signed out.
Okay.
So, I don't want to put you out to the 10th, which is my next date, with the circumstances as you're explaining them. Follow
Okay.
that? So,
Yeah.
what I want to do. So, what's my okay? I want noon. Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sign back on at noon today.
Okay,
Okay. We're going to try to get to the attorney in this to tell him that we want to see him here at noon today. And
okay,
let's see if we can get some of that resolved. Okay.
okay,
All right. So sign back on at noon. I'm not dismissing your case at this point. Sign back on at noon. We'll get the attorney here and see what we can do. All right.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good
You're
New Year.
welcome. You're welcome. We'll talk to you at noon. Okay. Take
Okay,
care.
thank you.
Before we dive into the final part of this hearing, where the landlord finally gets hit with the accountability he's been dodging, I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below. What do you think about this case so far? Should the judge go even harder? Or is justice already being served just right? Also, quick side note, I've got some exciting things in the works. I'm working on launching official merch in the next few weeks, and I'd love your input. What kind of designs or phrases would you like to see? Whether it's courtroom quotes, justice-themed graphics, or something totally unexpected. Leave your best ideas in the comments. You guys always surprise me. And while we're here, thank you. Seriously. Every like, every comment, every minute you spend watching means more than you know. It helps this channel grow and keeps these stories coming. All right, let's get back to it because Judge Simpson is about to drop the hammer. And believe me, it's one of those moments you do not want to miss.
Northwood Property versus Brianne Persia. You're muted, Mr. Jerkis.
Edward Drukas for the plaintiff.
And your name, ma'am?
Brianne Portia?
Your Honor,
Mr.
I apologize for this morning. I was having technical difficulties. I did become aware of what occurred, and I believe I have rectified that situation. I need to get confirmation from Brianne or the tenant. Has there been any change since this morning, Brianna?
Yeah, it's Brianne. Yes, thank you. The power is back on. Thank you so much for that. It's
Okay, so the
life-saving.
power is back on. Well, I'm going to have to ask the question so that we know. I would certainly just didn't go ahead. I think this was going to be dismissed, right? It was going to be
Yeah.
dismissed. However, the real question for the court becomes,
I can't read what
Six,
you put in the chat.
it's okay. It's okay, ma'am. What was in the chat? What? I'm not sure what got put in the chat, but it was somebody else. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's okay. Here's what the issue is. Who shut off the electricity?
I would have the understanding that it is in the landlord's name. And there are a couple units in that property, and I think the wrong one got turned off. And it was never brought to the attention that it was her specific unit.
Are we seriously expected to believe this? I get it. The landlord's attorney is just doing his job, trying to spin the situation in the best light possible. But come on, ... Accidental shutoff. That has to be one of the weakest excuses I've ever heard in a courtroom. This poor woman, completely blind, living alone, has been trying to get her power restored for over a week. If this was truly a mistake, it would have been fixed within hours, maybe even minutes. But here we are, days later, and she's still bundled up inside her own home, like she's camping in the Arctic. The math just doesn't add up, and nobody's buying that defense. And honestly, I can't help but think if there were any real justice here, the landlord should have to experience exactly what she went through. Let him spend a few nights in a freezing house without lights, heat, or comfort, just like she had to. Only then would he begin to understand what he put her through. In fact, make it 2 or 3 times longer. Because unlike him, She didn't get a choice. She didn't get a warning. She just got left in the dark, literally. And what makes it even more outrageous is that this woman isn't just any tenant. She's a vulnerable individual, blind and completely dependent on these basic utilities, not just for comfort, but for safety and survival. You can't just chalk that up to a clerical error and move on. So yeah, this one hits a nerve. It's not just frustrating, it's infuriating. But knowing Judge Simpson, I've got a strong feeling he's not going to let this slide. If he's feeling even half of what we're feeling watching this unfold, then someone's about to get a serious reality check from the bench. Let's get back to the courtroom and see exactly how Judge Simpson responds. Because justice might be cold right now, but it's definitely coming.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I reached out to my landlord and I did get a response. So she was aware that the power was cut off the day after. I technically did not even receive my summonings because, like I told you previously, I have a partner here that helps me with my vision. And when I was supposedly served my summonings, I technically wasn't even served. They knocked on the door and I wasn't available, and they threw the paper at my partner.
Okay.
And
All right. I'm not going to worry about that. Here's what I'm
Right.
getting at. I guess I was getting at. Mr. Drukas, I'm
Yes,
not
Your
going to dismiss this. I'm going to set this over to the 10 because it may, and you may want to have your client and attempt to try to negotiate it. But if she's without power for those 9 days, your client may very much owe about $1,800 minimum to the defendant.
Is there any way that we can address escrow in the interim? Because this was a lease that ended back almost 6 months ago, or in August, and there have been no payments that have
I
been
asked
made.
for a bill and
Hold
I was never
on,
received.
ma'am,
Yes,
stop.
sir.
There's been no payments.
Yeah, there's been no payments for
Well, how much is the monthly rent?
the monthly rent is at 500.
So 500. And so how much is plaintiff claiming she owes?
Currently, we have a balance at 3480.
3480.
Correct.
Okay, well, I'm not going to have to put anything into escrow at this point because the issue is going to be your client may well owe her about 1,800 of that.
Okay.
And that's the floor of it under the lockout statute. So I mean, she may indeed end up owing her more. So why would I have her pay escrow at this point in time? So
Well,
I'm
it would
not
be-
dismissing the case. We're going to resolve this issue or figure out how we're going to resolve this issue. I'm going to set this over to January 10th, 2025 at 2 p.m. in person.
Thank you, Ann.
Your Honor, where is this located?
At the service center by the Washtenaw County Jail, you know where we are, Hogback and Carpenter.
I'm sorry, what name? Hardback?
Hogback and Carpenter.
Hogback, okay, and Carpenter. I am
Well,
familiar with that.
if you say Hogback like that, then that means you don't know where you're going because everybody around knows where Hogback is. So here's
I'm not
all right.
I'm not from here. I just moved here, so.
Okay, no, and I can tell when you said Hogback. Okay, yeah, it's here. It's over by the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department.
Okay,
Okay, you want me to give you the address would be 4133 Washtenaw.
okay, you got that.
Yep.
Right, okay, thank you so much.
Not a problem. We'll see you
Is
then.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. What?
What will I need to go to, how do I don't know what So I go there, do I need anything?
What
Do
I've heard today, you just need to get here to the court hearing. We're going to try to flush out what we can flush out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good New Year.
And my phone number is
You
on the
too.
paperwork. If you can give me a call, certainly I'd like to chat before the next hearing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
This one? Yeah, not a good look at all for the landlord. Look, I totally get being upset when a tenant hasn't paid rent in months. That's a tough situation for any property owner. But cutting power in the dead of winter, especially too, someone who's blind and vulnerable, that's not just crossing a line, that's barreling past it. This wasn't about protecting property. This was about punishing a person, and that's where it becomes completely unacceptable. So I genuinely want to hear what you guys think. Are you with the woman trying to survive without heat? Or do you feel for the landlord trying to deal with unpaid rent? I know some of you in the comments have no patience for people skipping out on payments, and I get that. But does that justify this kind of response? Drop your thoughts below, because this one definitely deserves a real conversation, and honestly, major respect to Judge Simpson for how he handled this. I already had a ton of admiration for the way he runs his courtroom, but this just confirmed it. The second he realized what was happening, he didn't hesitate. He stopped everything to make sure this woman got the help she needed. No excuses, no red tape, just action. That's what real leadership looks like from the bench. Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. I post content like this every single day. Real stories, real courtrooms, and real moments that show us how the system works, and sometimes how it doesn't. If you found this one powerful or thought-provoking, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care of yourselves and each other.